you're kind of in this slightly surreal, beautiful landscape, and your kind of normal worries are kept at bay, and you can just completely focus on music 100%.
We first set up Aldeburgh Young Musicians in response to an approach by the Department for Education, who were looking at provision nationally for young people to see what were the alternatives to going down to London every weekend or going to a specialist music boarding school. And they approached a lot of organisations and said, would we be interested in helping to develop and nurture young musicians of exceptional potential?
It very quickly became obvious that the sort of traditional model of a Centre for Advanced Training wasn't going to work. If we're going to take the 50 most talented youngsters from around the region, we weren't going to end up with a neat orchestra.
In a symphony orchestra, you work out what instruments you want and then you fit that jigsaw puzzle together. AYM doesn't do that. It looks for incredibly inspiring artists and then it makes the ensemble out of that. That's the way that music's going, and it's a real change from the past 200 years. That's what's so exciting about working with it. It's the future.
It's become very rare to see musicians who don't have any expectations as to what their instrument should be playing and should not be playing, and especially in a teaching environment. And there seems to be this open mind that, in my opinion, leads to very creative music.
So it's a bit like treating musicians as kind of found artists and sculpting them in a way that draws on the natural skills and experiences and inspiration that they have, and taking them from where they are to help them fulfill their unique and idiosyncratic potential.
We were able to really forge not just a different model in terms of the kind of look and feel of the sort of logistics of it, but really a whole new creative model that was very forward-thinking.
I absolutely love coming back to work with Aldeburgh Young Musicians. It's completely unique, and it's because everyone is equal. Everyone has skills that they can bring, but it's hugely collaborative. And whilst we come along and we have a lot to mentor the young musicians, they also have these incredible ideas.
AYM is a great leveler, basically. It kind of strips tutors from their pedestal. It keeps you on your toes. You can't go to sleep on these guys. It's kind of just into the nuts and bolts of kind of what makes our world tick, because it's their world too.
There's an unsung hero here, Colin, who was the first director of Aldeburgh Young Musicians, who's very quiet and unassuming, not good at blowing his own trumpet. He did an extraordinary job to kind of take quite an embryonic vision and really ran with it and helped shape a project that's really like no other, and I think a blueprint for how young people in this country should be guided.
I think nobody imagined over the years since we started how it was going to change and develop. We've really developed in response to the needs of the young people who were part of the cohort, and now last year we had 50 to 60 courses and weekends, specialist days, workshops, working with mentors, all kinds of approaches, so it's really transformed into a really major centre for advanced training. In fact, I know from what people tell me, there's nowhere else like this place in the world.
Up until the age of 15, I was playing in lots of rock bands around my town. I was also playing in the school, but not really finding what was going to push me to the next level. Being a part of AYM changed my musical journey in a massive way. Meeting all of these amazing percussionists who were playing loads of different instruments I'd literally never seen before really opened my eyes to the world of percussion.
I think AYM is an incredible opportunity. It opens a massive amount of doors to you, and all the tutors that come here often they stay in touch with you.
For me it's really good because I'm mostly a classical and contemporary pianist, so being able to explore folk, gospel, pop, jazz, it's really kind of new for me, which is good because it kind of pushes me to the extremes of what I know and where I can go.
AYM has also developed my ear when I'm playing. It's made me more considerate and more musical in the way I phrase things, and that's come from having to play with the quieter instruments.
I wanted to write based on instinct and feeling, and I was quite intimidated by the idea of classical music. AYM is really open to the idea of having singer-songwriters and people who were not confident in their theoretical knowledge.
Before I came to AYM, I used to just go and sit in my bedroom and play rock music, but now it's really expanded, like the music I listen to and what kind of music I like and I play.
AYM was really integral in developing my playing and musicianship. There was just such a huge variety of music happening there. All the courses from contemporary classical music to Afro-Cuban to jazz. It was just impossible to kind of not soak it up.
I remember playing a takamitsu percussion quartet, which involved playing lots of found objects, lots of metal, lots of stone, and reading out weather reports, all of which being read off of a graphic score. These are many things that I'd never even attempted before as a young drum kit player from Norfolk.
I've really developed as a composer here. There's so many opportunities for you to workshop your ideas and explore things that you've been wanting to try out with instrumentalists and just get to understand what works and what doesn't work.
I love the people that I get to work with. I've never been more inspired by other musicians than I am at AYM, especially my peers.
I attended a course with an amazing Ghanaian percussionist called Aflasaki, and maybe about a year after the course he got in touch and sent over recordings of his set for his band and said, oh, if you can learn my music, I'd be really happy to have you play my band. And I've been playing with them for about 2.5 years. We're going abroad this summer doing some festivals. I've been playing guitar and saxophone on their latest album, so that's been a really good way that it's helped my career.
Being part of AYM really opened you up as a young musician to being able to say yes to things. I think as a freelancer, that's one of the most important things you can do. Really opening the amount of work that I could actually take on now. One, from playing many more instruments, I can also play in classical orchestras, I can play in small ensembles, I could do chamber music work. If you're thinking of joining Aldeburgh Young Musicians, I would absolutely recommend that you do. It will massively boost your playing ability. You will make so many amazing friends, which you will carry through with you all the way to your professional career, and it will open you up to new and exciting ways of making music.
It doesn't just impact you musically, it impacts your whole life.
I think AYM can hold its head up high at this establishment. It's sort of kind of hallowed ground. And although these students are younger than most of the other people that are using this space, they are absolutely earning the right to be here.
The future of Aldeburgh Young Musicians is in the hands of the young musicians. I see my role as co-creating with them, the artists, and the team at State Meltings to together create the future.
AYM is not about how good you play things, it's about what you have the potential to be, and AYM will get that out of you.